And you've spoken about having some players back this last week, and you got the 4-1 win against Newcastle as a result. How important and how well equipped is the squad at this moment in time to find a run of consistency into Christmas?
Yeah, look, it's still a challenge because, we've still got, I think this morning I had a look, it was still 8 out injured from our first team squad. All have contributed, apart maybe from Ash Phillips, who hasn't played a lot, but the rest have all contributed. So it's still a little bit of a challenge for us. It's not just the games it affects training, When we had all the guys fit at the start of the year, the level of our training was a lot higher. We could be a lot more intense with what we do. It's a little bit different now. So, but, it was good, like you said, to get back Pape and Richie last week, and that certainly helped us just to freshen up the team. And, hopefully between now and kind of the new year, although then we'll lose players for international commitments. So I guess for the foreseeable future anyway, it's kind of where we're going to be.
You've obviously had a perception of Heung-min's son before you came to the football club. Then you've got to work close up with him. Is there anything that you've noticed since you've started working with him that has maybe surprised you? And how will you cope? How will you plan for his loss in January along with Basuma and Sarr?
Nothing's really surprised me about Sonny. As you said, I've known him for a long time. The quality he has as a player is pretty evident to anybody who's sort of been following the Premier League and world football. And, I had the advantage of already sort of having a glimpse into him as a person. And I guess the only new thing for him is that he's, taken over a sort of leadership role within the group here. And, again, He's taken to that really well. He's embraced the extra responsibility, both in and around sort of the culture and the environment here, but also, during games, when we've needed him to step up. So he'll look. All those 3 players will be a big loss for us, but it's kind of been the story of our season. We've had to cope without significant players so far, and as I said, that's kind of what we've been dealt with, and we'll just have to deal with it as we have.
The spotlight has been on Christian Romero again this week following a tackle in the game just after his suspension. I'm just wondering, what have you said to him this week about that? Is it trying to strike a balance in his approach?
Yeah, to a certain extent. But, I think it's fair to say the spotlight will be on him for the rest of the year, because I just think, any challenge he does, whether it's, something that's pretty clear like the Chelsea game or last week, which I just thought was as much clumsy as anything else, will get highlighted. He knows that. He understands that. He's just got to, make the adjustments that he needs to do during the game. But, I don't think it's a subject for long chats. It's pretty evident, the impact he has on us when he's playing and when he's not. And, we much prefer to have him out there.
Thanks, Ange.
Hi, Ange. I was going to ask you about the other fullback, Pedralporo, from the weekend. Obviously, he's a player that you inherited. He was on a loan that was going to be made permanent regardless anyway. I mean, at what point did you kind of identify, or actually, rather than someone I'm kind of stuck with, actually he's someone that fits perfectly what I want?
Yeah, he's a good footballer, and most coaches will tell you they want good footballers, and I didn't see anything there. I mean, I know, a lot of people have always said, especially with the way I got my fullbacks to play, but I haven't been at a club yet where the fullbacks haven't adapted, whether that was at Celtic, whether that was at Yokohama, since I've kind of been going down this road. Very few have struggled with it. I think it's just probably, the uniqueness of what they do that takes people aback a little bit, but in terms of the functionality of it, we try and make it as kind of simple for the guys in that position, and then the quality we have both with Pedro and Destiny, they take it to another level altogether, because it's one thing for me to say to them to sort of move into the areas we want them to move, but then they need to show that quality, and they got it in abundance. So I was never concerned about Pedro, I didn't feel him and Emerson. I thought we were well covered on the right-hand side.
I'm guessing Mickey's still quite a few weeks away, so it could be Christian and Ben for the foreseeable future, sort of no injuries, touch wood. Yeah. How comfortable are you with them two as a centre-back partnership? And I guess there was probably a point at the start of the season where that could have been a starting team if Mickey hadn't joined when he did.
Yeah, to a certain extent, but I mean, at the same time, like I said, Ben's sort of still adapting to it, and he's done remarkably well. But centre back is still a position where it's a fairly, especially in our structure, it's one of the few positions where you need guys with outstanding attributes in there, and we've been very fortunate that he's able to fill in for us there, and he's really good at taking in information. He really understands the game. He's not just his own role, but how we want to play, and I think that's helped him. And as I said, having Romero next to him is, I think, helps in that sense. And Vic, because Vic's kind of taken a bit of a leadership role back there as well. But I mean, ultimately we still need to sign another centre back. Because at the moment we're kind of a little bit on tenterhooks that if something happens again, then we're short, and we're already short.
Can I just take you back to Brennanjohn as well? Because obviously he's a young player, arrived with a big price tag. How impressed have you been in the way that he has settled? It hasn't weighed heavy on his shoulders.
No, I don't think so. I guess there's always some pressure there, and like I said, I always bear in mind that they're 22, and he's 22, and Destiny, Pape, 21, even Kulusevski, 23. They're all very, very young men still, and regardless of how much we say to them, don't worry about the price tag or don't worry about the expectations, they're human beings, so it affects them one way or another. And usually it's, you kind of hope you get an idea of the kind of people they are, from kind of the trajectory their career's taken. And you look at Brennan, and he's had a really good upbringing and a really good foundation at Forest coming through there, and the way he's developed his football every year, that suggested to me that, even if it takes a little bit of time to adjust, he's shown already that he can go up levels. And I've been really pleased with him. Like I said, it's always hard when players come in late in the window, particularly to a new environment. It's not like we were already established and he's just got to plug in. The whole group was still learning how we're going to play and everything, and he sort of walked in last minute, and I've been really happy with him. And the big thing for us is we know there's loads to come.
Thank you.
John?
Here before, there are obviously challenges to getting players in early in the month. I guess can you sort of talk through that?
Yeah, look, it is challenging, like I said. Ideally, yeah, and the reason is obviously, like I said, with kind of where we're at injury-wise and the players we're going to miss, we've got some significant games through January, and signing somebody late in January could mean that we've haven't been able to make an impact in those other games. But we're pushing hard. But obviously, you need all parties to agree to that. Other clubs will be saying, well, particularly if they're players they want, they want to hold on to them for as long as possible for their own reasons through January. So it is a challenge. I get that, but we're working hard with everyone at the club to try and sort of get the best outcomes for us, and we'll see how it goes.